So welcome to the Lighthouse. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy to be here. If you were in any of last week's sessions, I was alighting upon our focus for the month. Given that it's the month of February, we are focusing on all things heart-centric. And as a human being, that is an endless repertoire of things that we can be tuning into. And so for today's work, we're going to be focusing on some practices that will help us hone our pluck and cunning in the arena of self-love. And again, there's no end to how we can be working this through. Maybe you're familiar with Rupi Kaur, an amazing writer, amazing writer. And she says that how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. So hold that really close as we're endeavoring into the practice today. So before we get started, I just want to kind of set the stage with the vision of the garden. Think about the blue flower and think about the pink flower in the garden. The blue flower will never be caught looking across the garden at the pink flower and thinking to itself, gosh, if only I were the pink flower. And neither would the pink flower ever be caught looking across the garden at the blue flower thinking, oh, if only I were the blue flower. Both the pink flower and the blue flower are always busy, devoted to their own dharma, if you will, being a full power blue flower or being a full power pink flower. So let us, also focus upon that, being fully who we are and taking this moment to tune in to who you are in this moment in an untransformed way. Who have you brought to the meditation? What are all the feels in your heart? Last Friday in the teachings, I was talking about this idea of the magnum opus. And that is this idea, from a meditator's vantage point, that we're doing this thing all the time, that we always are remaining in presence, that we are always in the fathomless, deeper depth of the meditative point of view. So, I hear a lot from people that I just don't have time to practice. I'm so busy. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time for whatever, fill in the blank. But if we hold this idea of magnum opus in our heart mind, then we can make the whole of our life our practice. There is no need for any moment to not be included in the process of our own tuning in to presence, in the, revelation of landing in freedom and happiness that is our essential nature. And when I use the word happiness, I want to articulate that I'm talking about a quality of happiness that again is our essential nature, and therefore it is a happiness that we don't have to practice because it's instinctually, it's intrinsically available. It's our natural state. It's the perfume of who we are, and it comes through us, and it's felt as us when we disconnect from the ego mind and we anchor into living from the heart. A happiness that needn't be practiced. So it's one less thing on the to-do list. And I want to just say real quick before we start doing our practices that, we kill our creative thinking by being too busy. So when you show up for these IP sessions, switch off. Don't think. Feel. And unlimited creativity will show up and start populating inside of you when you switch off. What a relief to have a couple of moments like that in the flow of your day. So let's get into it. Bring your hands and your arms out in front of you by about 12 inches and just start shaking a little bit, just shaking the chi, moving the chi. And imagine that the very breath that you are breathing in right now is full of cherishing mother love. And it's feeding you and it's fueling you, shifting you from 3D to 5D. You know, when we practice, especially when we start plugging in these dynamic practices, just a couple more shakes here through the hands. Stick with me even when it feels weird. Very oftentimes doubt starts showing up in the psyche, right? And even to simply acknowledge the doubt is to do something with it. It is an action step to acknowledge it. So doubting the doubts as they arise, and knowing that there can be vitality found in the paradox. Good, and then just ground the chi. So we're going to do a little bit of tapping here. We haven't tapped in a long time. So we're going to start here. And you're going to use primarily the 6 innermost fingers of the hands. And be really curious about how you're alluring the tap energy up and out of your heart, through the length of the arms, both of them, and then flourishing through the wrists, which you just woke up through that gentle shaking, and then you're delivering it. So we're going to move through a constellation, a kind of blueprint of PowerPoint places in your body. So let's start here, right here at the gate between your eyebrows. Again, how you love yourself is how you're teaching others to love you. So tapping in the gentle, immense message of self-love, relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. The more you can soften and relax into the medicine of the meditation, the more you'll be able to receive it. Let yourself get into the reciprocity of the inhale becoming the exhale. And again, softening into a happiness that needn't be practiced. Now just allow your fingers to be tapping on the whole field, the quantum field of the brow. And when we work with this tapping, we're becoming more skilled in the art of conscious reality creation. And feel the gentle, percussive, rhythmic meditation settling down into the landscape of the heart. Now bring your fingers to the temple doors right alongside the head, just to the outside of the points of the eyes. Feeling yourself irradiating and radiating a happiness that needn't be practiced, a happiness that is intrinsic because you're centered in your heart. And again, as we do these kinds of practices, they're excavative. And so as the doubts come up, as the things that you feel that you need to forgive yourself for, be quick about the forgiveness. Be willing to forgive swiftly, to admit that need and then be through it and on with it. Now bring the fingers down to just underneath the eyes, loving yourself fully, humbly, radically, wildly, unabashedly. Allowing yourself to embody presence. Check in with the breathing. Can you breathe more deeply, more fully, circularly into the top of the lungs, into the top of the heart, into the back of the lungs, into the back of the heart? Gentle but powerful tapping. Expanding your heart, expanding your growth-driven diversity-minded, heart-centered, evolving soul, growing softly and creatively. Again, feel the next inhalation. The next inhalation full of a cherishing, nurturing, supportive mother love energy. Now drop your fingers so that you're tapping 1 inch. Do you feel the difference in the face? Do you feel the difference in the prefrontal cortex of the brain? Now we're going to be tapping about 1 inch beneath the innermost point of the bone of the collarbone here. So tapping here. Let yourself show up in the spirit of play. One thing that I have noticed in myself and in my friends community and my professional community, that one of the symptoms of this pandemic time is that we have experienced a kind of flatness in our emotional instrumentation, a flatness in our hopefulness, a flatness in our inspiration. Let this re-establish the texture, the mystery in the terrain of what it is that makes you feel most alive. You know, when we notice indications of the flatness, it can mean that we're in the wormhole. And that's exciting, actually. That's really good news when we're in the wormhole. Drop the fingers down now so that you're tapping at the sternum. So when we're in the wormhole, we're shifting our frequencies. It can sometimes seem like we're flying through a lot of realities at hyper speed. We're shifting our frequencies. We're adopting new thoughts, new feelings, even new speech, new behavior. We're shifting our frequency, and we're not just looking at it, we're not just thinking about it, we're not just talking about it, but we're anchoring into it and we're embodying it. Embodying the evolutional presence. So feel evidence of the tapping, the emotional freedom technique that this is. Feel evidence of it, not just in the place of the point of contact, but in the center of every cell, in the mitochondria, in the rivers of the blood, in the hard-working genius of the organs, and in the field, the intelligent field that is your soul, that you are resting in. And become aware of your field. Become aware of this kind of bubble that is around you. Good. And now bring the hands, this will be our last point. We're going to tap on the sides of the lower ribs. Keep your shoulders relaxed as you do this. Showing up in the spirit of play. Switching off the mind so that the creative feeling and thinking can surge through. So when we do this kind of stuff, we're reprogramming the template of how energy is steering us. We can reprogram anything in our perceptions, in our behaviors. We're always becoming. So deepen your breath. Get the breath into your back body. Stay with it. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now take your index fingers and bring your index fingers into the innermost corner of the eye. You needn't press firmly because the meridians and the nadis that we're addressing here are resting right underneath the skin, so they're completely available simply through the gentlest of compassionate touch. So use your index fingers like little lucidity conduits and send a little vibration. Send the new frequency through from the heart, through the arms, and through the tips of the fingers. Tapping into a happiness that is free of any need to perform or defend or protect or prove anything. Tapping into that happiness that is free of the mask, that is free of the struggle. Bring your fingertips now to the innermost corner of your eyebrows, and same things, gently animating this point. Reprogramming the template of how energy is moving through you, how it's holding your face together, getting into the face underneath your face, getting into the heart that's inside of your heart, activating the love that might be lying dormant. Now shift the fingers to the middle of the eyebrows. Activate the love that is lying dormant in your heart as your relationship with self-love amps up and increases and expands. It becomes unshakable. You know you have your footing wherever you are. It's called being a sovereign self. And from that place of sovereignty, we become more generous with the love that is in our heart. Awaken the love that's lying dormant in your heart and distribute it lavishly in the magnum opus of every moment that is your living practice. Bring your fingers now to the outside of the eyebrows. Same thing, dynamizing here. In the poetic aura of true joy, friends. True joy, which is when knowing knows itself. Good, now bring the fingertips to the spot right underneath the center of the eye, so you're on the bone of the skull, not in the soft tissue. Same thing. Let yourself get really slow, really timeless, get into the sap. Get into your bone marrow with your breath. Slow down any of the inherited programs that keep telling you that you need to speed up, at least for these moments when we're together. Slow down the programs that are telling you that you need to speed up. Slow them down. Access the poetic aura of your own joy. And be a student of what it is that is moving through you. Now bring your index fingers to right underneath your nostrils. Same thing, activating here. Be a student of what is moving through you. Stay curious. These practices empty out the channels so we can have a frequency of transparency. And so that we can then turn around to channel without distortion the next best version of who we came here to be. Good. Now bring your fingertips to the attachment site of where the earlobes. Do you feel how good these point activations are? Do you feel how much clearer you are already? It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So bringing the fingertips, the index fingertips, to the attachment site of where the earlobe conjoins with the side of the head, and dynamizing here. Let it get into all of the little intrauterine glitches that might still be in your energy template. Let it get into any of the blackout spots in your nervous system. Let it be a few moments for energetic hygiene. Moments of infinitude and alliance of practitioners. A home for your soul. Again, when we're in the wormhole that is the practice, Sometimes it is a fathomless bliss, nameless, boundless, ineffable. And sometimes doubts arise. Remember to simply acknowledge the doubt is an action step. Good. Now just bring your fingertips to the back of your shoulders and then pull them vigorously and slowly forward. Remember, you are wired to keep changing your focus. You are wired to constantly be expanding your field of view. We were not put here to stay stuck, to be rigid, to be scared. No. Feel the apertures opening. Take 2 more. Letting your heart soften into sovereignty. Remember, you are the master of this place. You are the master of the place that is you. You have full power of choice regarding how you want to feel, who you want to be, what it is that you're projecting, who it is that you're projecting, and where you're going to go. Breathe into your heart a breath of mothering, cherishing, caring self-love. Breathe it in all the way into the heart, inside your heart. So our last practice here, I'm just going to do a time check. Our last practice is a healing reset practice. So you're going to create a mudra with both hands. You're going to press the index and middle fingers together, and you'll press the ring and pinky fingers together, and then pull them apart. This is kind of Star Trek-like. And then have the thumbs down, so the index finger and the thumbs are making those right angles, okay? The left arm is going to be out to the side, and the right arm is going to be up. So you'll find that after a short while, the brain, the mind, will start sending signals of agitation. Simply continue to breathe through it. I'm not prescribing any particular breathing technique, except let it be long and elegant and as smooth as possible. So this is a healing reset practice. So quietly shifting from 3D to 5D, find your breathing. Awakening the love that's lying dormant. It's every possibility that the arms are already feeling hot. You are the master of this place. Stick with the practices and stick with the people that pull the magic out of you, not the madness. Cleaning up everything that is living inside of you. Deepen the breath. Let your breath be heard. Hear yourself breathing. And once you bring in that cherishing mother love of an inhalation, hold on to it for a moment in the same way that your mama would hold you. Hold on to it. No matter what your relationship has been in this lifetime with your biologic physical mother, feel that second mother that is the universe holding you and supporting you every time you breathe in. Knowing your true nature, your essential nature of happiness, a happiness that needn't be practiced. Knowing liberation through the silence and the infinitude of this moment. Knowing a freedom that is found in your breathing. Hearing the language of peace inside of the quiet landscape of your heart. Not even for a single second. Not touching duality. No duplicity. Now reverse the arms. Right arm out, left arm up. We're still in the same mudra, that hasn't changed at all. Right palm is facing the earth and left palm is facing forward. Stay in the source. Stay in your source as a meditator. Without beginning, without end. Again, it's the magnum opus, the art of meditation, to always be meditating, even in our most gleeful, unhinged, wild, unabashed moments of oneness, still in the meditative state. There's no place to arrive, there's nothing to do. Staying at home in being. Remaining as presence in freedom. Feel it inside of you, in front of you, behind you, all around you, in the heart of all beings. Stay in this healing reset, a few more breaths. Always there is a new fathomless bliss. Always there, yet forever going deeper. Still beyond it is. And may you take that last half step from peace, awareness, bliss. Take the last half step into the mystery that is beyond the mind. One more breath. Take the right arm up to join the left, and then slowly, with both palms facing the ground, lower your hands down. Just take a closing moment to reflect upon anything that is asking to be integrated before you transition.
Voice is math, but go to disconnect.
Anything that is asking to be reflected upon. And feeling the expanded, elegant quality and consistency of self-love, which is our muse point for today. And may you carry that with you for the rest of your day. Self-love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. I look forward to seeing you soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow. Take really good care, extra good care. Sat Nam and Namaste.